Welcome to the Note to Self podcast. I'm your host, Zoe. I'm a certified professional life coach, serial entrepreneur, verified YouTuber, and published author. On this podcast, you can expect actionable tips, reflections, and inspiration to live your best, most fulfilling life. So, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Note to Self. Today's Note to Self is another episode in this series of wealth consciousness. So, this is where I dive into all things creating a new level of life for yourself, one that is wealthy, healthy, amazing. And this is all about healing your relationship with money, which is such powerful work to do in this world. Truly, what I've come to realize about money and healing our relationship with money, it's one of the most important things that we can do. Because as a soul on this earth, desiring to evolve, desiring to reach all new levels in our lives, desiring for change, growth, experiences, in order to do that, we need money, right? So I think actually one of the big things that I want to touch on in this episode first is just decriminalizing money. Right? I know that money is this energy that has a lot of stories around it. And it's something that, as human beings that we're all called to heal or look at different points in our life. And the more that we can just start to be friends with money versus, like I said, criminalize it or hate on it or be frustrated in it, the pathway forward starts to become clear. And with money and earning and wealth and reaching next levels, for me personally, it started with understanding that money is important. And this is what I want to really hit home for you guys today is that money is important. Money allows us, like I said, to reach our soul's highest evolution. And it's important for us to be able to do that. It's important for us to be able to hire the coaches that we feel called to hire, to work with the healers that we feel called to work with, to feel comfort and ease. It's important for us to drop the struggle around money. Because for those of you listening right now, I bet you can relate to feeling like money and concern about money is just something that chills on the back burner of life. And it actually inhibits us from experiencing the present moment. So, really understanding that it's important to take a look at that. It's important to begin to shift that and continuously do the work to shift that. Understanding that that is important. And that is one of the most important and powerful forms of healing that we can do because it's offering us more access to the present moment where all the magic lies. And it allows us to create our abundant futures the way that we desire to, right? When we decide to work with money versus working against money, we begin to open up a whole new journey for ourselves. And for me personally, like there's been all sorts of lessons in money throughout my life, especially as an entrepreneur too. Like there's a, lack versus abundance and understanding where lack exists and understanding how to feel abundant. And I'm going to get into an opportunity at the end of this podcast that will really highlight how to step into that next level. But what I found is that with wealth creation, it's a step further, right? It's really understanding that this is incredibly important for my soul's evolution, that understanding wealth and generating wealth, not just money, but accumulating wealth is very important for my life to give Zoe her best life. And so, in really discovering that and having that be at the new forefront with money of I'm going to do whatever it takes to really understand this. I'm going to get curious. I'm going to heal it. I'm going to become friends with money more than ever before. Instantly, a lot of things started to shift and just my mindset around money changed. It was no longer this thing that I felt a lot of resistance around and I just felt like I needed to figure it out. It was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this work. And actually, I'm open to learning from money and I'm open to seeing any ways in which I might be inhibited around money. And it just, like I said, allowed for a whole new journey and no longer a journey met with a lot of resistance. It was understanding that each trigger that money might present into my life was just an opportunity to heal. And more than ever before, I was willing to see the way and I was willing to see things differently. So, I hope that this episode sparked something in you guys about just deciding that money is important and deciding that the step The next step forward in being able to generate and continue to create wealth in your life is just understanding that this is important, that this is powerful work to do, that this work is necessary, that this work is liberating. Think for a moment of that future version of you who doesn't have the same level of concern or perhaps concern at all about money and how to make it and trusting it, right? Just think into that spaciousness for a moment. What would be available to you? What would be accessible to you? And what would you do if you had the money that you were desiring to have? Know that it's all accessible to you, and all it just takes is deciding to take a look at this subject called money, called wealth, understanding that it's important to look at it, and deciding that it's now something that's going to be at the forefront. It's no longer going to be this thing that holds you back. It's no longer going to be this weight. And with that, I'd love to invite you guys into a 2-day masterclass that I'm doing that is called Tapped In and Elevated, where we're going to be diving into healing our relationship with money and focusing on embodying abundance to allow for more financial abundance to find us. Because when you become friends with money, when you become open to receive money, which is what we're going to be diving into in this 2-day masterclass, it just comes. It just comes. It's like opening the floodgates, or as Esther Hicks says, it's the fire hose or something like that. Like as soon as you start to shift, it shows up. So I want to bring you through a powerful 2-day masterclass to just see what's accessible and available to you when you just decide to look at this. And you're not alone. As human beings, we've all got stories around money. So there's nothing to feel shameful about. And I'm going to be diving into that too, because shame itself is one of the heaviest things we can hold on to. So if you're ready to liberate your relationship with money and begin to heal things, I'd love to see you inside. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye. Thank you for listening to Note to Self. If you enjoyed this episode, please help me out by rating and reviewing this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If my energy is resonating with you and you feel the call to work with me, there are an abundance of ways to do so. I offer one-to-one life coaching programs, mastermind containers, and DIY courses, all of which are available through my website, zoearielpoulsen.com. Until next time, take note of all the abundance that surrounds you as you make the most of this game called life.